but
Yeah.
he didn't see it because God had not revealed to him. He didn't have faith that this giant could go
Could
down.
fall by a sling. All right. So that you are saying that there are people who have a strong financial backing, which is good for them, and there are the people who also by faith
Yeah,
can enter marriage and still make it work financially.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Daddy. We are having loads of lessons here. Please, do we have anybody who has a question? Amy, please, could you check if anyone has a question on the paper so that we can take them and then address them? Let me go through the comments here. Okay, so Grace Equianyoma says that these are words of wisdom, Daddy. And then sure, Dr. Mrs. Agatha says that men should allow their career, women, wives to get help to make them more fruitful in all aspects of their lives, especially to enable them to get adequate time for themselves, for the Lord, for their families, and for the church.
Yeah, and what she said is very important. And let me reiterate what she had just said, because you see, if we don't allow our wives the space and the freedom for themselves, they will overwork themselves, and we will not like the result of they overworking themselves.
Okay,
Yeah.
like a burnout. They will just.
She could even die. You know, so what we must protect them. So whatever is our job as men, eh? Our primary job is to protect our wives and to protect our home, protect our children.
Wow.
So we are protecting them. What machine can do, let machine do. Don't let her do it.
So men should take it as a responsibility.
Yes, we should take it as we must take an interest in how we can free space for them to be able to have a healthy life.
Ooh. Wow. That's good. It's good stuff. Okay. Thank you. So this is coming from Mommy, and Daddy has rightly explained it for us. So Amy, do you have anybody? Okay. There is no question yet. All right. So let me go to my last topic for tonight. And please, if you still have a question, either you put it on our media platforms or put it on the sheet and then we will address them. Okay, so Daddy, we believe there is one particular issue that by popular request I would want you to address on this platform. That people who they love God, they love to serve God, they would like to give their time to God, and at a very young age they consider entering into full-time ministry. But then now it gets to a point, especially at a point where they want to marry or they have increased responsibilities, and now they don't have the necessary financial capacity to undertake those responsibilities. And now it looks like the profession they've taken is not helping. So I would want you to talk about it. Who?
So I get there.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to go that far. Sometimes a lot of what we profess to be full time is foolishness. Actually,
Oh.
yes, irresponsible lifestyle. You know, people don't want to be, because people don't want to be regulated. So we want unfettered freedom to be able to do things that will please us, but we want the luxuries of life to accompany our unfettered freedom, where nobody is holding us responsible. You see, some of the things that people do is actually misguided. They are misguided decisions, and a lot of them are just plain foolishness. To me, it's marks of immaturity. It's marks of immaturity, and most of the times when you talk to such people, they don't even have a plan for life. There's no plan, there's no structure. Because there must be, you see, there must be a plan, there must be a structure. If there's a structure, if somebody wants to support an agenda, there must be a structure.
Okay.
And people must be able to see the structure clearly. So a lot of them don't get funding because people don't see the structure. And anything that people cannot ask of responsibility, you are accountable to for what? For example, if I want to put my money into something, I want to be sure that the money is going to be taken good care of, and that
Definitely.
and that the person may be accountable
Sure.
for whatever is being done. But when there's no accountability, people don't see structure, and then most of the things is just somebody following an ego. You see, pursuing an ego, and or a dream. A dream that only he can see. The dream has no structure, it has no plan, and anything. And then we call it full time. I've lived a life like that before, but I was living like that till I began my national service.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you had a plan.
Yes, I had a plan.
Okay.
And that until my national service will kick off. So I live by faith. So I know what it means to live by faith.
Okay.
I never took transport. You know, sometimes people will take transport during our era. Let me tell you what will happen during our era. Somebody will take a reckless transport, roam about town for hours, and then finally he will, let's say he will come and visit you, David. And because he is living by faith, he will ask you to pay the driver.
Hey. Seriously. So like I take an Uber and I visit a member.
Or supper, depending on where the wind is blowing the person. You see, so if the wind happens to have blown the person straight to your place that day, it is your obligation to make sure that you feed the person. Even if he chooses to sleep too, that's fine.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to take care of that. Because the man of God had visited you, it's a privilege. You see, so I grew up out of such a system, but that's not the kind of system I believed in. I never asked anybody money or anybody for any favor. Living by faith or meant that God will provide at the right timing, the supplies will come. And that I was never in lack because the supplies will come at the right time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The supplies will come. So that's the way it is. Right? So a lot of the full time that people went had no structure, had no plan. They were just and I didn't like it because I saw a lot of waywardness. Because most of the time, such people too were not morally upright the way I expect them. Yes.
Okay.
Because if you are eating anywhere, if you are just eating anywhere, and then this person sells kinky fish and pepper, so you know that every evening, once you are hot, you can go there and eat. And she's a young lady. She will start also having ideas for you. So a lot of them ended up fornicating.
Wow.
And they failed, yes. A lot of them, I'm talking about my era, a lot of them ended up fornicating, leading reckless life. Their moral lives were not right. So, because you must have somebody who you are accountable to, who can ask you, where did you go? What did you do? At that age, yes, at that age, you need somebody to ask you questions, to ask you hard questions. So you must be under somebody of authority. who can ask you hard questions as to what you are doing with your life and that kind of thing. Once those things are not there, you tend to just be drifting along with life, and you just be fornicating with women.
Wow.
Yes. So that's what happens. I know the dangers involved because I saw people falling prey to some of those things. So during that time, the phenomenon of just going to full time, it was more of a reckless decision. It was seen generally, because if you really wanted to be on full time, you must train under somebody. You must be mentored. A lot of people who go into full time today, they are not even ready. They are not ready in terms of maturity. They are not ready in terms of even resources.
You need resources for full-time ministry?
Most of the people who have finished university, you don't have anything in life.
Yes.
Yes. So if you say you are on full time, who is mentoring you?
And maybe they have a prayer fellowship they are leading, so
So that's why before you realize, one day they'll be there just drifting along. Before you realize, then they meet somebody, one powerful person on the internet, a preacher, and then I like this powerful preacher. Then the person becomes his mentor. Then he's following. He doesn't even know the lifestyle of the person. Sometimes you can't kind of get to know the actual lifestyle of the person. You will see how wretched
the person really
yes,
is.
but on television it's different. You see, so then they just acquire mentors in the online and that kind of thing. They are following people. Before you realize, they are hooked on to some one dangerous doctrine that derails them. You see, so you must get a real mentor, that can see your face, who knows you, who can ask you the right question, and who can guide you.
Wow.
So you must grow out of discipleship, and then you'll be fruitful for the kingdom. You see, but anybody who, as for being called into whether into full time or part time, I don't know what to call of it, because when I was in the corporate world, I was given a lot of resources for kingdom work.
Okay.
Yes. In my working life, I've given out 4 cars for ministry.
Wow.
Yes, after I've used a car, I give it out 4 times for ministry. No, I'm just citing an example of the kind of things I'd given.
You are still doing ministry yourself?
Yes, I'm still doing ministry myself. Right now, I'm on full time. But I'm on full time, and I can proudly say that I'm not dependent on the ministry for income.
Wow.
Or to take care of myself. I'm still taking care of myself. I don't have to go to somebody's home to. I don't like eating in people's homes. It's very rare for me to eat in somebody's house. I don't like that. So because I don't want to give anybody the chance to get to me. I'm heavily guarded.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so that is the decision in itself to go into full-time ministry, mean without a secular job. It's not bad in itself.
No, it's not bad. But you see, let me tell you, there are a lot of people who are doing secular work in tandem with ministry, and they are very productive in the sight of God. Yes, because they are bringing a lot of money to support the work.
Wow.
Because the ministry, the kingdom needs resources to support. We 100%, all of us can. I always said Paul himself was not an absolute. He wasn't an absolute full-timer. He was working with his hands to support his work.
Wow.
It's not the same to work with your hands to support yourself.
Whilst doing ministry?
Yes, while doing ministry. So when we talk, to me the word full-time is a misnomer. You see, because can you mention a single person who is more of a full-timer than Paul? Yet Paul himself was not absolutely a full-timer by the definition of, by today's definition.
I see.
But you can't mention a single full-time person who is busier than
more
Paul.
fruitful and busier than Paul.
So whatever he had to do, to bring in income, to get the kingdom work, the important thing is that the kingdom is glorified. I mean, God's kingdom is established and his glory is established on earth. That's the most important thing. So we are using everything. We are using our time. We are using our talent. We are using all our resources for the kingdom.
Wow. Daddy,
because I am on full time, but I use my personal money that I get to support full time
because
people
you had a
who are
plan.
in full time, and I'm on full time.
Wow. Amazing.
Sometimes you're being full time will mean that you are even taking care of some other full timers, but then you need to, like Jesus was saying, before you can be in full time, you must have been called.
Okay.
You must have been called. You must have been chosen. You must have been ordained, like we read in John 15 verse 16. And then let's also read Romans chapter 12 from verse number 7. We can read verses 7 to 14 about the need to. Is a lot of the people who say they are full time, they don't even wait on their ministry.
Okay.
Yeah, so Romans chapter 12 from verse 7. We'll read to about verse 14 or so. Our ministry. Let us wait on ministry. Let us what?
Wait on our ministry.
Most of the time, when you see people on full time, they are gallivanting. Yes, we see that the full time more in activity than in waiting on the supplier of the power. Because the supplier of the power says that on ministry, if we are in ministry, let us wait on our ministry. You see, so a lot of the weight must go into prayer and ministry, waiting on the Lord. So that when we move out with purpose. Verse 8, let's go. Or he that exhorteth on exhortation, he that giveth, let him do it with simplicity. You see? So the one who is giving is also part of the calling.
Of the calling.
Yeah. Let him do it with simplicity. He that shows mercy with cheerfulness. Verse 9. Let's love be without dissimulation. What it says that without without preferential. It should not be preferential. I would say without dissimulation. It means that it should not be biased.
Okay.
It should not be biased. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. So the one who wants to be on full time must abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good.
Okay.
Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor preferring one another. 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Now, hold on here. Not slothful in business. Let me tell you, a lot of people who go into full time are slothful. They are lazy people. Oh yeah, I've known a lot of people who claim, those who want to be in full time without structure, without plan, is because they are slothful. Yes, they are slothful. So we think that we can hide behind lazy work, and then something's comfortable. But wherever the money is coming from, the people are sweating for it. Yes, and so when money